So I welcome you all for today's session on the SQL tutorial. Okay, this is a very good site, w3schools.com, where you can just open the SQL folder. So our SQL is a standard language. Okay, it is known as a structured query language. We have seen in C language, something is called as structure. So structure is basically the combination of heterogeneous data types. So similarly, we have this for structured, but to in a more advanced form where we can retrieve the data in the form of our questions. So for example, I have a lot of data of students. Okay, so I will question my database. What is the percentage of this particular student name XYZ? Okay, so I will write a query. So that is called a query. Query is nothing means in English language, it is a question. So we frame the question, but that question is in the form of the structure which is defined by the software, or you can say the compiler, or maybe this SQL language. Okay, so whatever is the format of the SQL language, in that particular format, we need to ask that question, which is called as the query, and then the answer would be retrieved from the database, which we have inserted from where we want the data. Okay, so basically it is a structured query language. It is a standard language for storing. That means we can store data, we can create tables, then we can manipulate the data, and we can retrieve the data. Okay, so we have got a separate presentation. You can go through it. Even our previous lectures, we have done about the DDL statements, the DCL statements, the DML statements. So DDL stands for data definition language, DML stands for data manipulation language, and DCL stands for data control language. So DDL includes create statement, where you can create a table. Then alter is also a DDL, where you can alter the definition of the table. Okay, so when you create the table, you define the table, what will be the attributes, what will be the type of attributes, etc. Whereas alter, which is already defined table, you can modify the definition of the table, right? Then you have DML operations, where you have update. You can update the existing data. You can insert another row, and you can even delete the row. Then there is a command called as drop. So drop is a type of DDL statements where you drop the entire table. Whereas delete is a DML statement where you try to delete the data or the records. Then you have got select operation, that is also a DML statement. So you try to retrieve the data using the select DML statement. Okay, so we will basically go through the select, because first retrieving is very easy. Creation and all that we have already done in DDL and DML, but you can have separate presentations and go through that of those lectures. Okay, very soon they will be available on YouTube as well. So our SQL tutorial will teach how to use SQL in these many types of database systems. So you can install any of these easily. Okay, some are freeware, some are licensed software. So you can even have a lot of open source like MariaDB, that you can use it for your study purpose. So let's start. So with the help of online editor, you can edit the SQL statement. So if you are using an API for database, then probably, okay, it will look like this. So when you say select star from customers, what it will happen, there is a customer table and it will retrieve all the data. Star means all. So it will retrieve all the data. Okay. So here basically what is missing is select, because if you try to put over here insert, this definition will not be able to retrieve this statement. It will give an error. Okay. So these are the exercises. You can just go through them, by which you can see whether you know how to use the SQL clause. We'll directly go to our main page. Okay, so this is the select. And if you have any doubt, you can even go through the tutorial which is given here, right? So this is very easy how you can learn one by one all the SQL statements. Now next is distinct. So for example, okay, you want, there may be certain duplicate records or values in the customer table. For example, customer is a table which has got these many entries. This is the demo database. It has customer ID, customer name, contact name, address, city, postal code, and country. Okay, now if you are retrieving, say, country, so you have that Mexico twice, but I don't want entries to be duplicated, right? So in that case, you can use distinct. So distinct means duplications would be avoided, right? So how it is written, it is just this keyword is written before the attribute name. So these are nothing but the attributes. Attributes are nothing but the columns of the tables, whereas these are the rows. Rows are nothing but called as tuples in relational database. So what this will do, it is showing column 1, column 2, and in fact you can write all the column names. So it will, now what is the difference between select star and what is the difference between select distant and then all the column names? The difference in that in select star also it will retrieve all the tuples, and in distant column 1, column 2 with column n, it will also retrieve all the tuples. But the difference would be that using the distant, it will remove the duplicates, if any, in that particular table. Then next we go to the where clause. Where means if you want to apply some condition on the table. So for example, here it is given that where is used to extract only those records that specify that condition. So now condition, so this condition is not only used with select query, but also with update, delete. You can also even delete some records using some where condition if it satisfies. Okay. So if suppose I want the data from this particular table where the city is Berlin. So my condition, my query would be select star from customer table, okay, where city is equal to Berlin. Now since this is a varchar or maybe a character data, it has to be inserted in the quotes. Okay, that is the only difference. If it's a number, then probably quotes would not be required. So if it's a single character, you can put single quotes. If it's a combination of characters, then you can put double quotes. So likewise, you can use the where clause. So for example, the another here, we want the customers from the country Mexico. So here, then select star from customers where country is equal to Mexico. Okay, so since this is a single word, you can use a single quotes. Now, in over here example, you can see that Mexico over here is twice, right? Country is equal to Mexico. So if over here you will go, it is twice. But I want only one. I don't want duplicate. Because here, what will happen if I want to display country over here along? So country would be displayed twice. But I want only distant values to be not to be repeated. Then I can use distant of star. Similarly, where condition can be used for, this is the example on the customer ID. So by using this query, what output you will get? You will get the entire tuple where the customer ID is equal to 1. So probably you will get this tuple as the result because customer ID is equal to 1. This where condition would be satisfied. All the tuples would be, sorry, all the attribute data of this tuple would be displayed because star is mentioned in this query. Okay, if you want to display only specific attributes, say I want to display only the customer name, then I will put customer name over here. If I do not want the repetition, so at that time we can use distant before the column name, customer name. Okay. Similarly, with the where clause, you can use these following operators: equal to, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, okay, not equal to. This is the sign which is used as not equal to. In some versions, for not equal to, this sign is being used. So you can just try. It's very easy. You need not even go to the version. You just try. If you get an error, then probably you can replace by this. Then in between, if you want a certain range of values, okay, so then you can use between operator. Like if you want to explore some pattern, for example, you want the names which start from alphabet A. So you can, in certain case, then in that case, if the pattern is that it should start from A, so where like would be used. So in is to specify multiple position values for the column. So you can try it over here. Just click over here and you will get the example. Similarly, you will get the examples of each and you can explore it. Now coming to the next, this is AND operator. So where clause can be combined with AND or not operators. Why? Because if multiple conditions are to be used in a query, okay, so we will be combining these multiple conditions with the help of these operators. Okay. So AND operator displays the records if all the conditions separated by the AND is true. So in this particular case, if this condition is true, this condition is true, and this condition is true. Since AND operator is used when all these conditions are true, those tuples only would be displayed. Okay. Whereas if OR condition is used, either of them, if it is true, those tuples are displayed. And here, if this condition is not true, then those tuples are displayed. So easy. So this is the table. So you can see, you will get the answers appropriately by using this query. There's another example. Select star from customers where country is equal to Germany. Since it's a varchar or a character, it has to be written in a single quote, and city is equal to Berlin. So all the tuples where the country is Germany and Berlin, if both the condition is satisfied, then only we will get. So you can see that in this particular table, country is Germany and city is Berlin. So country is Germany and city is Berlin. This condition both is satisfied. So this first record would be displayed. Here this is not satisfied. Here this is not satisfied. We'll go to again here Germany is there, but here Berlin is not there. Okay. So only over here Germany is there, Berlin is not there. Here Germany is there, Berlin is not there. So over here same case. So if you go through this, only one record would be displayed because there is only one table where country is Germany and city is Berlin. Since AND operator is used, both the conditions should be satisfied, right? So coming to the next type, that is order by. So this keyword is used in our SQL queries to sort the data. Okay, so it is to sort the result set in ascending or descending order. So the order by keyword sorts the records in ascending order by default. So if you do not write anything over here, then by default it will be giving you ascending order. If you want descending order, then you have to specify DESC word, okay, along with order by clause. So how it is done here? Select all the columns from table name, order by column 1, column 2, and you have to specify descending. If you will not specify, it will be ascending. So order by means, okay, now depending, if you want these customer names alphabetical wise, so then you have to put your customer name. So it will sort according to this. Okay. Now if you want to sort the city as alphabetical wise, then you will write your order by city. Now if you want that first this should be sorted and then this should be sorted, so you can even write customer name comma city. If you write city comma customer name, obviously first city would be given preference alphabetically and then customer would be given the second preference. So select star from customer, order by country. So you can just, what you can do, you can just insert all these values in your customer table. First, create the customer table. How to create it? You can just go through our presentation of DDL and DML and DCL statements. So over there, you will come to know how to create a table. Okay, you insert all these data, and then by using one query, you can see what output you get. You should get the same output, which if you do manually, you should get the similar output. Now, generally database designers, they have got lakhs of rows in our data, but manually we cannot check it. So what we do, we do manual evaluation on some subset. That's called sample. Okay, so if the answer is coming on the samples properly, then probably we assume that the accuracy would also be there on the lakhs of data. So more the samples you test, the more the accuracy will get on your live data. Okay. So this is how DSC operator is used. So let's go to the next. So even we have this definition in our DDL and DML, but here specifically we will learn, now we have, till now we learned how to select the data. Okay, that was very easy. But if suppose we want to create the data, we want to insert the data. So the syntax is very simple. Insert into table name, column 1, column 2. You have to specify the names over here. So for example, it's a customer table. Then you can specify your customer ID, customer name, city, country, and so on, and the values, right? So in the first column, which is customer ID, this value would be stored. So this data type should match. If this is a number, then this should also be a number. If this is a character, this also should be a character. This is optional. If you don't write this and you directly pass the values, okay, then you can see here directly it is written here. So if you directly pass the values, it will insert in the format in which you have defined it in your DDL statement using create statement. So insert into customers, customer name, contact name, address, city, postal, and country. So values. So in customer name, this will go. In contact name, this will go. In address, this will go. In city, this will go. And likewise. So why you specify this? Because when you want to insert data on only specified columns. Okay. So in that case, you will be specifying the specific attributes. For example, in your table customer, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 attributes, but here you are inserting only 3 attributes. Okay, so depending upon what name is there, over there, these values will be inserted appropriately. And next, the other data which is not filled, that would be defined as null. Okay, now in our previous presentation, we had also discussed about what is the difference between 0 and null. So probably you can go through it, but we can have just a recap that 0 is a value. For example, if a student has marks, so 0 means he has got 0 marks. That means he attended the paper, but he achieved 0 marks. So it is also a value. But null means he did not attend the paper, he was absent, or probably some other condition. So null means nothing, but 0 is a value. So it's not here that you have specified 0 value for other attributes. No, you have not specified. That means it's nothing. Nothing is being specified, so it will be null. So null is what? Okay, it is not possible to test null values. Why? Because there is nothing over there. But if there is a 0, you can still test using equal to operator. Okay. So how it is written? Select column names from table name where column name is null. Okay, so since in our previous example in insert, we saw that we didn't insert other values of the columns. So they would be automatically defined into null. So if you want to check what are the null values, then you can use it with the help of the select clause. Select and the where clause easily. Not null. Not null means it may be having any value. Okay, even 0 is a value. So any value ranging from 0. Now next is the update clause. Now update is to modify the existing data, right? So there is an alter method. Alter is a DDL statement which alters the definition of the table, whereas update is a DML statement which tries to modify or alter or update the existing data. So once you have inserted the data, if later you think you want to change the value, okay, for example, if a person comes to us and he's got some 10 marks out of 40, and during evaluation, the marks addition has been done wrongly by the supervisor. So nothing to worry on the consent signing. Okay, you can just request when your paper is being checked, when the paper is shown to you during consent signing. If there is some updation done, automatically you can just update, use the update clause and update it by the marks. Sometimes it may even decrease, sometimes it may even increase. Okay, so that is basically in such conditions you can use the update clause. So what is the syntax? Update table name, set column name is equal to value 1, column 1. So column 1, you will set the value as value 1. So the previous value would be replaced by this new value, value 1. Whereas column 2 is equal to value 2. So existing value of column 2 would be replaced by value 2. Even you can specify where condition. If this is not given, it will update all the columns with that value. But sometimes, we have to, we in consent signing, we have to only update that particular student. Okay, so there you can specify where condition, that means where the student ID is equal to whatever. Okay, or maybe student name. But at times, generally to do some wrong updations, we generally use primary key. Okay, because if you use student name, there can be two names similar to each other exactly. Okay, it may be a coincidence. So in that case, since you have a student ID, it is always a unique, so there would be no wrong updation. So we will just end by today on this delete, and then next we can continue in our next presentation. So delete is to delete the particular records from the table. If you just mention this, then all the records are deleted. Okay, but if you specify some conditions, only those tuples are deleted which in which this condition is satisfied. So now this delete is a DML operation, whereas drop is a DDL operation. If you say drop table name, the definition of the table itself gets deleted. So after that, if you say select star from table after using drop, then it will say that this table name does not exist. But if you say delete star from table name only, that means if you delete all the table records, and if you say select star from table name, it will say that there are no records. That means the definition still exists. And you can use conditional delete with the use of where condition. So considering the same example, if we say delete from customer name, okay, this something in blue over here specified that this is the syntax. Okay, whereas customers, it can, this is the name of the table which may change from user to user. Then this is the attribute name. Obviously, this is a part of this customer's table. So customer name is equal to Alfred's Fattersky. So if wherever this customer name is, this particular name which is given in the single quote, only that row is deleted. But kindly note, the entire row would be deleted. So you can see here the row would be deleted. So if you want to delete all records, then as said earlier, you just have to